I'm afraid that if he does get a hold of me again, I'm not going to be able to talk him out of it.
This is footage of Lisa Bianco in her own powerful and prophetic words 2 years before she was murdered by her ex-husband.
The purple ribbon that you see here is a symbol of something very significant in our society today. However, the story behind the popularity of these purple ribbons is heartbreaking. This is the story of Lisa Bianco, whose death on March 4, 1989, brought about a lot of changes in the US laws which are related to the security of women and domestic affairs. How do you think Lisa died? How is the purple ribbon associated with the death of Lisa Bianco? Hi and welcome to Real Crime Storytime. Here we cover real solved, unsolved and twisted cases of the past. Today we will be discussing the disturbing case of Lisa Bianco. This episode delves deeper into the details of this case and the significant impact this case brought in various policies and laws all across the country. But first, if you still haven't subscribed to the channel, please go and hit the subscribe button and the bell icon down below. And now, without further ado, let's get started. Today's case takes us to Mishawaka, St. Joseph County in the state of Indiana. Mishawaka, the second largest community in St. Joseph County with more than 48,000 inhabitants, lies 7 miles along the lovely St. Joseph River. North of Mishawaka, between Grape Road and Main Street, lies a very outstanding shopping area. Shopaholics adore the variety of stores in and surrounding University Park Mall. Along with retail behemoths like Apple, Macy's and JCPenney, there are smaller chains and regional boutiques. You can find just about every restaurant you would want to eat at in addition to the shopping. Whole Foods Market entered the retail industry in 2013. The second busiest retail shopping center in Indiana is located in this area. Top employers in Mishawaka, a wonderful area to live, work and play, include AM General, Bayer, Damon Products, Siemens, and St. Joseph Regional Medical Center. But it was here, in this seemingly idealistic town, that a tragedy occurred in 1989. Lisa Bianco was born on April 22, 1959, to her parents Eugene Bianco and Millie Bianco. In 1977, Lisa met Alan Metheny and got married within a few months of knowing him that very year itself. They were residents of St. Joseph County in Mishawaka, Indiana. The couple had 2 daughters, Brooke and Amber. According to his mother-in-law, Millie Bianco, Alan Metheny seemed like the ideal son-in-law for any woman. He had a pleasing appearance, was handsome, and very charming as a person. He was not, however, the ideal spouse in reality. Lisa and Alan were married for 7 years before Millie realized her daughter was living a nightmare. From the very beginning of their wedding, Lisa was enduring constant domestic violence. In fact, Alan was not secretive about hitting his wife and would often abuse her even in public. However, Lisa did not inform her mother about the torture she was going through. She endured it for 7 long years of her marriage before she filed for divorce in 1985. The custody of the daughters was a significant area of conflict for the two, due to which Alan kidnapped their 2 daughters and left the state shortly after the divorce was finalized. In exchange for him bringing the girls back home safely, Lisa agreed to drop the charges against Alan for kidnapping their daughters. After the divorce, Lisa started to rebuild her life. She went to Indiana University. She started working as a counselor for victims of domestic violence in Elkhart Shelter. 2 years went by before Alan Metheny came back to Indiana again, and the first thing he did was attack Lisa. According to Lisa's report, the attack and series of events that took place happened too quickly for Lisa to react and respond.
I'm afraid that if he does get a hold of me again, I'm not going to be able to talk him out of it.
He came to her house in Mishawaka, disconnected the phone wires, strangled her with nip ties, and tore off her blouse. He kept on hitting her on the head and said he was doing everything out of love in response to Lisa's screams that she did not wish to die. He forced himself onto her, and Lisa stopped fighting back at that point, as she knew she did not have the physical strength to stop Alan from assaulting her. The attack was severe and made Lisa realize that if she did not press charges against Alan, this would lead to something way more severe and dangerous. Her prime motive was to keep her children away from such violence. Thus, she reported the crime, and Alan was charged with assaulting her in 1987. He was given an 8-year prison term, with 3 years suspended after entering a plea agreement to a single felony violence charge in Pendleton Reformatory. While in prison, Alan expressed his desire to kill Lisa multiple times. He would call Lisa and threaten to kill her. In 1988, Alan's mother called Lisa to inform her that Alan was eligible for a 1-day pass where he would be released for a single day. When Lisa got the news, she immediately called her prosecutor, who assured her that the pass would be cancelled as it was a direct threat to the safety of Lisa and her kids, considering the death threats that were made by Alan while he was in the prison. He asked Lisa to send out a letter to the Pendleton Reformatory to cancel the day, and also told her to request in the letter that if any further dates were awarded to Alan, Lisa should be directly notified about the release so that she could maintain a safe distance from the perpetrator. On March 4, 1989, Alan was eligible for another 8 hours of furlough. For those who don't know, an official temporary release from confinement is known as a prison furlough. Prisoners on furlough may be permitted to leave alone, although if accompanied by guards, they frequently have to cover the cost. Furloughs are occasionally given for medical reasons, to enable offenders to attend funerals, or to contact employers in order to secure work after release. Some research suggests that furloughs lessen violent outbursts, but there have also been well-publicized instances of furloughed inmates committing crimes while on furlough, returning late, or eluding capture. In the Federal Bureau of Prisons, furloughs are strictly intended to advance correctional objectives and are not seen as a way to reward good behavior or reduce a criminal sentence. He received an 8-hour furlough from Pendleton, where he had been imprisoned after spending nearly 2 years behind bars. The permit allowed him to travel to Indianapolis, but Alan Matheny chose to go directly to St. Joseph County. Alan was supposed to meet his friends after his mother picked him up from the prison. After changing his clothes at his friend's place, he traveled to Mishawaka while grabbing a shotgun from his friend's home. From the desperation in his behavior, it was quite clear that he knew what he was doing. 2 doors away from his ex-wife's home, he parked the car in a lot before breaking in through the back door of Lisa's home. When Lisa saw that it was Alan who had entered their house and was after her, she tried to run, but Alan chased Lisa as she fled out of the house into the neighborhood while their 10-year-old daughter tried seeking help from the neighbors. He chased her down and hit her with a shotgun, so hard that the butt of the shotgun shattered. He then climbed into his car and drove off. His blunt force trauma resulted in Lisa's death. Even after taking all the right steps, like abiding by the rules of the system and creating a safe environment for others in the community, Lisa Bianco could not save herself from the violence of an abuser. According to the autopsy, Lisa Bianco suffered a blunt instrument head trauma that caused her to pass away. It's important to note that at the trial, the prosecution presented convincing proof that Alan killed Lisa Bianco. At the trial, Alan's brother and a friend of his both testified that Alan arrived at the friend's house on March 4, 1989, around 1 p.m. The friend also testified that his own stepson's pistol was gone when Alan left his house an hour later. The daughter of Matheny, Brooke, testified that she witnessed her father enter the house and confront her mother on that fateful afternoon, when she was at home in St. Joseph County with her mother. Brooke raced next door and requested a neighbor to phone the police at her mother's urging. Several neighbors testified that they saw Metheny repeatedly strike Lisa with a shotgun as she was being violently attacked and killed in the middle of the street. Because of the overwhelming evidence, the defense attorney conceded as he made his opening remarks. On March 4, 1989, in the early afternoon, Alan Metheny beat his ex-wife to death in broad daylight on a public street corner in Mishawaka, Indiana. Defense attorneys continue to assert that Metheny was insane at the time of the murder as a legal defense, but two different court-appointed physicians each testified to the court that Metheny was not insane at the time he committed the murders. Psychologists have determined that Metheny had schizophreniform disease. Because of his mental illness, he thought Lisa Bianco was involved in a conspiracy against him. Purposeful homicide and burglary while on a furlough were the direct charges against Alan. The weight of the aggravating factor was significantly lessened in Alan's case. Indiana Supreme Court Justice DeBrula wrote in a dissenting opinion, because the intent of burglary was the intent to kill. At trial, Scott King, who was Alan's lawyer, attempted to prove his client Alan Metheny was insane. Although he tried to assert the argument of his client's mental illness in the court, Alan ended up losing the trial and was given the death sentence. He was executed by lethal injection on September 28, 2005, for the murder of his ex-wife, Lisa Marie Bianco. "I love my children and family." In his last statement, Alan apologized for the suffering he had brought on for them. "I'm sure that under the loving care of their wonderful parents, my grandchildren will grow up healthy and happy." National media coverage of Bianco's murder led then-Governor Evan Bayh, who was just halfway through his first term, to abolish furloughs and reject almost all clemency pleas over his 8 years in office. The furlough laws that existed before the Lisa Bianco case simply did not have any provisions that secured the safety of the victims. In fact, these policies and laws rather sheltered the freedom of the offenders. There was no one in the system who took the responsibility of the safety of a woman. Even though Lisa sent a letter to the prison where Alan was serving his sentence about directly notifying Lisa about any furlough or release of Alan, they did not inform Lisa, and that carelessness led to the unfortunate death of a woman. The case raised fresh concerns about prisoner release programs in general and the right of abuse victims to be informed when their abusers are released. Since Alan was locked up in 1987, Lisa had written and called correction department officials, pleading with them to alert her before Alan was ever released. Just 1 week before Alan received his pass, department officials found her request in his file. According to a department official, despite the clear request from Lisa, nobody informed her. According to Kerry Lobel, head of the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence, this sent a chilling message to battered women that the criminal justice system is not fully prepared to protect them, and that authorities did not take their abusers' threats seriously. According to Millie Bianco, Lisa Bianco's mother, justice isn't precisely what people would anticipate it to be. "I think we're getting closer. This is more conclusive, but I believe that the death penalty got ineffective long ago, simply because it takes so long." Despite believing Alan should be executed, Millie Bianco said she had conflicting feelings about Governor Mitch Daniels' choice to reject mercy on Tuesday. "This is a man who washed dishes in my kitchen, could be charming, and loved his dog." She commented that what happened was a tremendously outraged murder. Lisa got chased out of her house in her pants and hit to death on the neighbor's doorstep. Compared to that, what he will receive will be a piece of cake. According to Millie, the legal system was almost to the point of irresponsibility, and a complete lack of respect for the victim's rights. She was aware that he was going to find her out as soon as he got out and attack her again. Legal experts claim that one of the issues was that jails lacked the resources to find inmates who might have been in danger. For abused women, whose attackers were more likely to return than other criminals, this error could have been catastrophic. Lisa Bianco's case was an example of such a disaster. Her untimely and brutal death was something that could have been avoided. Indiana and the country saw significant transformation as a result of Lisa's death. There are currently regulations requiring victims to be informed when an offender is released, and the furlough policy has been reviewed. In order to remember Lisa, there is also the purple ribbon, which serves as a reminder of domestic abuse awareness. Lisa's favorite color was purple, thus her loved ones and friends decorated St. Joseph County in purple ribbons to mourn her unfortunate and violent demise. Today, in 2023, with the help of different laws and policies, women are comparatively in a better space now. However, there are still cases across the globe which see a similar ending like Lisa Bianco's story. As long as such a story exists, the purple ribbon will always remind us of the pain that domestic violence inflicted on lives, but also the courage to fight back and never stop. Do you think it was the prison system and its inefficiency to secure victims like Lisa that led to her death? Comment below your opinions. And if the video made you think deeper and resonated with you, do like it and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Thanks for watching and see you next time.